Joining us now on the Picks Four Pools podcast, we've got University of Toledo cornerback Zeke Blake in the house. You can follow him on Twitter at Zeke_119. He's going to be talking to us about his college experience, the way he plays cornerback, and prep for the NFL draft. Zeke, thanks so much for hopping on here. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you? I'm doing good.
All right, I'm doing well as well. Thanks for asking. But let's just get right into this. College career, let's start off there. I mean, you were at Independence Community College first, then spent a couple of years at Youngstown State, and then this past year you were at the University of Toledo. Kind of take us inside what made all three schools really good fits for you as you move from one school to the next.
Honestly, I started off at a NAIA school my freshman year, and that was before COVID. But COVID came that year, and I didn't feel like it was competitive enough for me. I felt like I could play at a higher level, and at the same time, it was like it wasn't free. Like you had to pay to go there, and I was in a situation in my life where my mom could be able to afford that, so I had to figure out another way out. So that's when I got in contact with my head coach at Independence, and he asked me to play defense. I only played receiver up to now, and he asked me to come play defense, and I was like, I mean, I'm at a situation where I had no options. It's like I got to take a chance to better my future. So I took the opportunity and I went to Independence, which was crazy. That whole experience was crazy. But I went there as a safety, and then one week he just asked me like, "Would you want to play corner?" Because I always would like come down and press as a safety. So he's like, "Do you want to play corner?" Because he kept seeing me doing that, and I was like, I mean, I just want to play. So I was like, sure. And then I wanted to play corner, and then it's funny because that semester I played corner, but then the next semester I went back to playing receiver. But then when it was time to leave, once I graduated Independence, schools asked me, it was some schools asking me to come play receiver, and there was some schools asking me to play corner, and I really chose corner because I realized like if I can get like a Division I scholarship playing this position for a couple months, I feel like I could have a great future at it if I actually sit there and learn the position. So that happened in Youngstown State. My coach was Ashton Yabodi. He was in the NFL. He played for Ohio State, and he convinced me like he know what it takes, so he could teach me everything that I need to play corner. So I went there, but not too long after I went there, he went to Purdue. But then I got blessed with a coach named Christian Dukes. He now the corner and the nickel coach at Central Michigan. He was actually a great coach for me. Like he was the best coach I ever had. Like just being a great coach on the field and off the field, like being there for you like a big brother. Like it was amazing. And even in my process of leaving, entering the portal, go to Toledo, he was like with me through the whole thing. Like he encouraged me to take that chance on myself to play on a bigger stage, and I appreciate him. And Toledo was a fit for me in a way of a majority of like the corners was leaving with Quinyon getting drafted, and the other corner he ended up went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for a little bit, and then the third corner he ended up transferring to Wisconsin. So it was like a situation to come in, but I didn't know if I was gonna play nickel or corner, but they all ended out working out for itself for real.
That is some really good stuff there. I am curious to know because you mentioned Kenyon Mitchell. So as you get ready to kind of take the next step here,
Mhm.
have you had any contact with Kenyon? Just getting some pointers from him,
Um,
like, hey, what to expect? Or has this sort of been a situation where you're just like, all right, I'm going to kind of do my own thing, and then eventually you'll reconnect with him down the road?
I reached out to him. Actually, he's a great person. Like, because when I first got on Toledo, like the crazy thing is, like, he's a first round drafted, well, about to be. He was still like working out with the team, like he goes to Toledo. It was crazy. Like, so he was there around, so I got to be around him even though I just got there. But I spoke to him before I had played in the Tropical Bowl, and I talked to him about like what would it be like, or the questions and stuff that I might be getting asked, and he told me like just be 100% honest in everything they ask. He said a majority of the question they're gonna ask me, they know the truth to. So he said, don't lie on nothing. I'm gonna just tell the 100% truth, and that's pretty much it. That I like reached out to him, but I feel comfortable enough if I like get like stumble upon something I'm confused that he'll be able to help me out in it.
That is definitely an awesome relationship. It seems like you guys have there. How is, I guess, the prep for the draft going? What's the daily routine like? Where are you working out right now? What are you doing to kind of get yourself ready for the next step?
Right now it kind of getting slowed down now because my day's coming up, but it was Monday through Saturday, with Saturday being massage day, Wednesday being like a recovery day where we go to the pool, and then we do like we got a Pilates instructor come in, then we got the physical therapist come in. But Monday, Tuesdays, upper body, lower body, but we run the stuff first with sprint. It'd be the fast days, and Thursday, Friday be like getting strong, but you're still running and perfecting our craft. But I'm actually training at Win Performance in Highland Park in Illinois, like probably 30 minutes from Chicago. So that's cool. But that's what we do right now.
That is, I mean, interesting. Highland Park, I want to say, is like 30-ish minutes from where I'm at as well, and it's not
Mm.
too far from the Bears facility. I mean, I'm an Illinois guy. I've kind of lived here for the last like 18, 19 years of my life,
Wow.
so yes, I'm used to the super cold winters and everything. I know you being from Lauderdale, right?
Yeah,
So for you,
Florida.
yeah, Florida, right? So I'm sure for you, you're used to a lot of the warmer weather. Did that, like, I'm curious to know, when you moved like to go to Youngstown State and then Toledo, did the cold like impact you at all? Were there days you missed that Florida sun, or was it just more so like, this is where I'm at, I'm just here to play football, so let's go?
Um, no, I didn't really. At times, like it more impacted me on like times where like it had nothing to do with football. Like I'm going to my apartment and stuff, and I'm like, dang, it's cool. But like football wise, no. And I feel like that's because of the people I like were behind, like as a freshman and stuff. Like they will always be like, it's mental. Like you go out there, they'll go out there with no long sleeve and nothing. And that kind of like placed it in my head, like you're not cold for like just I'm here to play. Like, and then junior college, like one day we did like 100+ up downs in the snow. Like it was feet of snow out there, and we just kept going. I say 100+ because once it got to 100, I stopped counting when I kept hearing the whistle blow, and I just kept falling. And after that, I feel like junior college kind of broke me out of like, ain't no way I get too cold if I got through this. And we didn't have an indoor, so we was always outside in the cold. So that really what it was. Cause like my last seasons in Youngstown Toledo, I really didn't. It got colder sometimes we on the sideline, but it really nothing like bothered me in the game for real.
That definitely makes sense. I mean, let's talk about the mental side of the game.
Hmm.
You play corner, so, and you play DB, so you kind of have to have like short-term memory loss, right? Football is the type of game, obviously, where certain things are going to go your way, certain things are not going to go your way on any given play. So, how do you kind of prepare yourself to just keep going forward when you make a good play, but then you also have a bad play?
Um, I try to stay the same throughout the game. Like I try to stay level headed for the most part. Like it gets to be in times where I make a great play and I'll react and I celebrate, but for the most part, I try to like stay focused on the end goal to win the game because I feel like yeah, I understand things gonna happen and I understand I'm gonna make plays, but I really just be on the end goal. I want to win. I love win. I hate losing. I just want to win. So I feel like just keeping that in my mind and actually understanding that there's a reason why if a play ain't go my way, there's a reason why that happened. Like I'm not gonna take it on the chin like, oh, I'm not good enough. I know it's something I didn't do in my technique or something, or maybe he just got a play on me. And then that's why we got tablets on the sideline to redo and relook over it. So I don't never really like kill myself about it. Like I just next play, I got it. Just gotta and if even sometimes in a moment, I'll realize like what I did wrong. If I shot my hands before my feet, like I'll feel it and I'll be like, all right, I gotta make sure I don't do that again. And other than that, I'll be fine.
So, what's the process of film evaluation for you like? Because game happens, practice happens, and then you're obviously going to go back and watch the film. I mean, how do you kind of break down some of the good stuff that you did, and then maybe
Mhm.
some of the things that you feel like, all right, it was this specific situation. I feel like I could go back and have done something better, because there's always going to be those plays that you
Mhm.
feel like you're like, all right, this was really good, but this is somewhere where I definitely could have done something better.
Um, I really look at like my feet and like seeing my feet and my hands, and then it's like if I get lazy with my technique at times, if I don't get like a great route or something to like be on myself to still play like technique better. And sometimes it's like plays where, for instance, I made a play against NIU. I broke the pass up, but I kind of got there a little early. But at the same time, if I would have thought about it, like that's an interception. If I got there early enough to break the pass, I got there that early. If I would, as soon as I got my hands, like get to like be in a position so I don't miss a tackle if I miss the ball. If I would have looked back in time, that's an interception. And that stuff like that, I just like talk about it and like go over it and get out of my head because I feel like that messed me up. Like, dang, I could have had a bigger play. And my DB trainer that I train with out here, that's something like he like sharpens with me. Like, yes, you get out this break fast and quick, but like you get out of it this much faster, it changed from a PBU to an interception. So that's really how we go over. Well, like that's how I go over stuff for him.
I mean, that's awesome, because like I feel as if, film is the most underrated thing in terms of just being able to go ahead and then continue to get better. But you seem to have this like smile on your face when you start talking about the some of the good moments that you had in terms of like, oh yeah, I nearly had this interception against NIU. But I gotta ask you, right, on that subject. I mean, throughout high school, whether or throughout college, right? Do you have a set of like football memories that no matter what, you're always going to go ahead and talk about and remember, like any special moments in high school or college that always sort of stick with you?
Um, and I'll go high school overall memory kind of blurred, but college, my last game, I feel like I'm a forever like off rip. Like once you say that, my last college football game, that's gonna be that's go 6 overtimes to go out like that and win the game. And it was crazy because like every time I tell the story, I wasn't nervous at all when I was on the field. But when I was watching the offense, like that feeling was so crazy. Like I don't know how to explain it. Words can't explain that. Like the feeling was, and then we stormed the field and they brought us back on. Like the game not over, and we kept storming the field. Like all that, but I like the feeling when I was in the game. I was so calm. Like I'm hoping they come at me because like for a chance to win the game off of a pass break or interception, like I was hoping for, but didn't target me. But that game will go down as my most favorite game ever, for sure.
That definitely makes sense. I mean, what was the six OT experience like, just in terms of the atmosphere and everything? Because you guys were playing Pittsburgh at the time, right? And it
hmm
just something where it was like constantly going back and forth. I mean, how did you keep pushing through it?
Uh, the, the atmosphere was. I honestly didn't expect that much people because it was a day after Christmas. So I was like, all right, I don't. I will understand if people weren't there like that, but it was crazy how many people was there, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? But going through those overtimes, like I can't even. How I felt, it just like we wanted it, like the whole team. You could feel like togetherness, like throughout that game. I feel like the team sticking together, like no matter what, if we gave up a touchdown or if the offense was to have a turnover or they to come out 3 and out, through it all, like because you'll have like players that like on the sideline they mad because they more mad that they disappointed the other side of the ball. Like offense come on the sideline, they more disappointed that they couldn't score for us. So they'll come on like, sorry y'all, blah blah blah. But then we be like, nah, y'all boys good. Like we got y'all. Like y'all go handle what y'all gotta handle, but get ready. We finna go out there and do what we do. And y'all come out here and y'all got another chance. So I feel like just being together through it all, like picking each other up. Like, yes, you had defense picking up defense player, offense picking up offense, but to see a whole team like offense picking up defense players and defense players picking up offense, I feel like that stuck it out. Even through the 6 overtime, we just kept being together. Like, and that was just an amazing moment. That's rare to see that like throughout a whole game, and then the overtimes, like just seeing all that is like it was great. And our kicker who had a he missed some crucial field goals for Akron that ended up part of the reason why we lost the game. To see like everybody have his back and knowing like it's crunch time, like even this game, everybody was supporting him, even whatever happened last game, and just see him get his confidence back too. I feel like all that was like a full circle moment to have on your last game. So that was amazing.
I mean, hey, what a way to go out, right? But let's talk you as a cornerback because,
Hmm.
corner is this position that, unless I feel like you play it or you coach it, you don't really understand the mindset needed to play it. But, as a corner yourself,
Hmm.
the defense tends to work together as an entire unit. Now, there's obviously individual layers, like you got your D linemen, you got your linebackers, your secondary as well. For you, in terms of the defensive fronts, do you prefer to play in a defense that has 3 man down or 4 man down, or does it not really matter to you?
Uh, I feel like it don't matter if we run a 3 man and they getting back there. I mean, that as long as whatever help us pass rush better or stop the run, whatever. Because sometimes you just got them guys on the line that can run 3 down. It's all of me personally. It's just whatever we getting back to the quarterback or we stopping the run, whatever works down there, I'm fine with. As long as it's working, I don't have a problem.
What about the communication that you need to have with the safeties, in terms of the coverages, the shells that you guys are playing and that you've had to kind of play? If it's one high, what is your responsibility? If it's two high safety, what's your responsibility?
Um, if it's one high, most likely I'd play outside leverage. If it's too high, it depends on what we're exactly running because we have a dog coverage where I got to play underneath on everything. But at the same time, sometimes we run too high as a cut. But most of the time, the cut is happening on the second receiver in a slot. We don't always get the cut, but you could, if the best receiver is on the outside, you can get them cut. And then if you do cut, what we do is we replace the safety. He come down full speed and takes him, and we got to run over and replace him. But the communication this year, my corner coach that I had, he's really big on like you'll see film. This is the most communication I ever did in the corner room, and I'm thankful for it. Like we communicate in you get to the line, soon as the receiver lines up, it don't matter if it's a 2 to 1. We speaking. What are we doing? If this guy happen in motion, that's an every play thing. If he motions, what we go, and that's how we start every play. Every play, you have something to say because you got to make sure if anything the offense do, even if you see somebody behind the back like in a behind like the tackle or something, we communicate beforehand. Like if he go that way or if he come this way, what are we gonna do? And even with the linebackers too, like the whole back end, like we all communicate. We pre-snap reads everything. We don't hide secrets. We tell out loud. So that was something great to have on my last season.
So, do you feel like the consistent communication, even though it may have sort of been little bit different for you, something you're not used to, that it helped make you a much smarter football player in terms of just understanding the different wrinkles that an offense is going to throw at you throughout the game?
Yeah, it helped crazily because I'm confident on my job because at times I've been in situations where I'm reading it and like say I see a route recognition, like I feel like all right, he might come this way, he go the other way. Now I can say to the safety, if he runs this and he runs that, what do you want to do? Just so it's a chance, like instead of I'm sitting here, there's a chance I can make that play, but I'm not communicating with him, so I really can't make that play. At the same time, I can be able to tell him what I see might happen to see if he understands it. Most of the time he will because he watched film too. And it's funny because when I went to the Tropical Bowl, that carried on in my brain. So like I'm seeing the splits and seeing how people align, man. I'm calling this stuff out, and like the receivers of the other team, they're laughing at me because they like, how are you doing that? But it's like my coach, he's very old school. He instilled it in our brain to check splits, who's on, off, and like you could break down like having that every week it instilled in your brain. It's so easy to break down what routes are coming. Sometimes you'll have routes that you didn't expect that to happen, but most of the time it's really all the same. So it's like it's that communication stuff. It's amazing. I learned that on my last year. Normally I'm a quiet corner, really don't say much. But this year it opened up to me like on taking my game to another level.
So, do you have a preferred place that you want to line up on the field? Do you prefer to be as a cornerback, right? Do you prefer to
Mhm.
be to the field side or to the boundary side?
Nah, I normally would be a boundary corner, but this year my coach didn't. He didn't. He. I remember he put me in the field, and I was like, "Well, this is new." But he don't. He don't. He didn't really instill me on playing boundary or field. I was in the field. I probably was in the field majority of the season, but me personally, what I do like is playing on the right. I don't know why. Something weird. Like when we go out there and we not assigned, like me and another corner not assigned like where to go. and then I'll be like, get the right, get the right side. I don't know what it is about it, but it really like I don't know. I like my read steps to be with my right foot, so it's kind of weird. I can do it with my left, but I just got so confident like and playing like that, and I just feel way more comfortable doing that. But I like playing on the right side of the field.
What was different about playing on the field side compared to the boundary side? Is it just the fact that, like, I mean, with the field side, you're gonna have a
Mhm.
lot more space to cover. Teams are
Mhm.
obviously going to have, some of their better receiving options to that field side to kind of take advantage of space. But what was personally so different for you?
Is the like playing 2 years mostly in the boundary, I can eliminate routes because can't really, especially off the split. In the field, like say for instance, like film study in a boundary is way easier than the film study in the field because it's so much more routes he can run. Like you really got to be in detailed in your film study if you're playing in the field at corner because there's so many different routes he can run. So that's really the difference. And then it's like in a boundary, I can press every play for the most part, unless it's something weird going on. But in the field, that's what made me have to put playing off in my game, like because you can't press for the most part every single play in the field. So me going to the field had to make me play off, and my coach he gave me the right tools to do so.
That is, I mean, that's different, right? I feel like the
Mhm.
thing with the field versus boundary side debate is that as a corner, you have to be able to move either way. But then again, I feel like boundary corners, in a sense, sometimes have it just a little bit easier because
Mhm.
there's not much space to cover. And again, for our listeners, like if you don't know the difference between field and boundary, a boundary is basically more toward the sideline, right? Field is
Mhm.
wherever a majority of the grass usually tends to be. All right, I gotta ask you, man. I mean, we're a
Mhm.
Bears podcast.
Mhm.
We obviously are a Bears media outlet. Have you what do you know about the city of Chicago? I mean, I know you're in a Chicago suburb right now.
Mhm.
Chicago is a city that's known for great cornerbacks. What do you know about the city of Chicago plus the franchise in general?
Um, I don't really know too much about it. I know the corners is there. I played against one in high school, and but the only NFL game I ever been to was a Bears game. It was like last year, like in 2023, like winter break. It was my first like ever NFL game was a Bears game, and that like being at my first like NFL game, it was surreal, like seeing it like in person and stuff like that, seeing like Justin Fields and all them. But that's pretty much all I know really about the Bears and city and stuff like that.
Which Bears corner did you play against in high school?
Tariq Stevenson.
What was that matchup like? I mean, I'm curious to know because
Um, I played him at like it was like at the University of Miami. We had like a 7-on-7, and he was like I think he was playing safety at the time. I was a receiver in the moment, and it was very like I don't know how to explain it. It was a lot of attention to that game because I had a one of my teammates was a 4-star. He went to Auburn, and so like it was him versus him. So like all the media and all the attention was like on that game. But I mean, it was fun. I don't know. I don't even know if we won or lost. It was just it was just a lot of like going on because it was a tough game. Like it was a physical game. So it was. I didn't even realize the score. I was just trying to win. So yeah, that was that.
so you mentioned that you played receiver as well, right?
Hmm.
The in receiver in high school, the idea of you playing kind of DB didn't show up until college. Do
Hmm.
you miss playing receiver at all now that you've kind of focused only on DB, or is this something where you've kind of accepted and embraced like you're just a DB at heart now?
Um, nah, I don't miss it. I mean, nah, I thought I did. Like when I was in junior college, how I told you, I went from corner, I went back to receiver. When I went back to receiver, I was watching film of me playing corner, and I'm like, the feeling I get from like shutting somebody down, I don't get that on offense. And like I'm a more of aggressive. I like hitting people. I just didn't get that out of playing receiver. Like I love the receiver, I like scoring and stuff, but I have a different feeling of just shutting somebody down. Like a perfect technique play will make me feel better than anything I can do at receiver. A perfect technique play and get targeted and get a pick or break that pass up. Like watching like that on film, like the feeling I get watching that is surreal. So I don't miss receiver at all.
That is, I mean, that's really interesting stuff. Plus I know just looking at some of your measurables, like you're on the taller side for a lot of corners.
Hmm.
University of Toledo, the website's got you listed at 6'3". So what do you think some of the advantages you have of just being a bigger corner are, besides just like being able to play more physically and use your arm length?
Um, Bigger advantages like a lot of times receivers be they see a bigger corner and off rip they thinking like, oh, he's gonna be aggressive, get his hands on. But I like to say I'm one of the fastest at my position, like quicker, even though I'm this tall. So I play with it. I'll get up close and fake aggressive, but I play with my feet. So I feel like me playing with my feet and being able to do it good is like helps me a lot because if I do lose a step, I got the length to recover. Like I feel like just being able to be this height and be able to move is just great because it's like unless you built like me, it's not really a fair matchup, not really any of the time. So that's really what it is.
I mean, that definitely makes a lot of sense, in terms of just like because I've seen some of your stuff, right? And just like how you move as well. So, got a couple more for you here, but when teams bring you in the building, right? When you get to talk to a lot of the teams just because of some of the meetings that take place and all that prior to the draft, talking with coaches or scouts, what type of football player and person are they going to be getting?
Um, Me personally, I feel a great person overall, somebody that love to win, and I say I'm a great person in saying like no matter what, I'm not gonna lose that. Like there have been times like even this season where things have happened and I'm not the man up for a game or something. But through it all, like I pull the corners to the side, like, and I pray with them and I talk to them, like, be focused, like, lock in, you got this. Like through it all, I still try to help, even though it may not be my time in the moment. Like no matter what, like I'm still with my teammates. I'm still pushing everybody on, even if it's tips. Like for instance, if I see a corner right now, he in and I'm not in right now, and I'm telling, and I see something he doing wrong, or I'm knowing something gonna come, I let him know, like right there. And I feel like the person I am and the relationship I built even with the corner rooms, like especially coming in as a new guy, like I feel like I earned a lot of respect and a lot of love for like through how I am as a person, like because I just want to see everybody be great through it all. Like I want to see everybody eat. I want to see everybody be great. So, and I'm really just, I feel like I just hold the standard for through it all. Like I challenge myself every day. I try to be the first person in every day, and that's something crazy to say. Like because I got it from Jaleel McLaughlin for the Broncos. He's the biggest inspiration. I played him at Youngstown. He's crazy. Like I was trying to beat him in there every day, and he. I don't think there's nobody. I don't even think the staff workers beating him in there. And to hear he's still doing with the Broncos, that pushed me. Even times where I catch myself like not as locked in, I'm like that just motivate me. And I got a teammate, Jawan Newton, that plays at Toledo. He's the same way. Like how he prepares for a day. Like I go in there early, he's gonna be there every time. Like it's just seeing that consistency. Like makes me like push myself to have that every day. So that's what they'll be getting.
Where does the drive to, I guess, sort of to be such a winner and such a competitor come from? Because you're going to have your teammates, right, that are going to push you. You're going to have your coaches that are going to push you as well. But how about outside, teammates and coaches? I mean, who is someone, whether it was a high school coach, someone in your life, someone that was influential, that kind of just consistently kept on pushing you no matter what and just allowed you to just develop the mindset of like, you're going to be the best no matter what?
Um, if I'm being honest, it might be my younger self for real. Like every time, like it'll be moments I catch myself like either I'm tired or like I'm like something not happening with my way. And I think to myself, like, growing up, this all I ever wanted. Like I didn't want nothing to like my mom, like she didn't have much growing up. I only got to play Little League football 1 year. And I begged every year since I was 5, can I please play? Like my first year playing is funny because I literally took it upon myself to walk to the practice fields. Like I figured out what's the location of the practice field in my city, and I just walk out there and I just go to practice. Like my mom not giving me no permission. She don't know where I'm at. I'll go every day and they'll be like telling me like eventually our mom got to come pay, and I'm like agreeing like yeah she gonna come the whole time. She don't even know what I'm doing, and like I just kept going every day. And they finally like asked me what happened. I told mom I wasn't paying for it, and they called her, finally convinced her. And that was my first year to play, and that was my last because we moved and stuff. But it's like the younger me, like every day when I wake up, like to have like I went to NAIA program out of high school. Like I was an unqualified. Like it's like a lot of things that I've been through that I shouldn't be where I'm at and succeeding at it. So like waking up and like I'm like, bro, like all I gotta do is play football, my bills paid for, I get fed. Like this is literally a dream. Like I said I was gonna do this and like for it to be like even tell my mom like I promised like we had to pay for my school my freshman year, like I'm gonna go get me my degree for free. Like being bold enough to say that to my mom and actually making it happen, like I gotta go. Like I've been working so hard doing it. I have no choice but to do it. Like the younger me would be so happy. Like, bro, you and my coach at Youngstown, like he wasn't from Youngstown, but I had a teacher who was my coach in 7th grade. Last year, when I my last season at Youngstown, he popped up at one of my games. Like I didn't invite him, but he didn't tell me nothing. And he just like I just heard my name. I looked and I was like, whoa. And he told me, you told me in middle school that you're gonna go D1. And he said, I promised you if you do that, I will come to a game. And it's like stuff like that is like I've been believing in myself, like, and when around that time, I wasn't even playing on a football team, but I still was saying I'm gonna go D1 one day. I promise y'all. Like I believed in it the whole way. Like I knew I was one of the best, even though I never got a chance to prove it nowhere. I knew it, like being confident at a young age and like just knowing I was good enough. That's all I needed to ever be like pushed to do everything every day.
I mean, that was awesome just in terms of hearing you recap. Like, all right, this is where I was. This is kind of everything I had to overcome, and how, you right now, I can tell, like, playing at Toledo, but then also getting ready for the next step is all just sort of part of the dream that you've been telling yourself since you were a little kid. Like, no matter what, I'm eventually going to go ahead and live this thing out. But, I have to ask you this.
Mhm.
So, because you definitely, based on the vibe I'm getting, right? Like if a younger football player from like your high school, for example, was to come
Mhm.
to you for advice, right? And be like,
Mhm.
oh, what would you tell someone that was younger? What advice would you give them about, hey, if there's a kid out there that wants to
Mhm.
be exactly like you, maybe not have a straight path to go D1, but just eventually keep working, what would you say to them?
I'll tell them school first. That's the most important thing through it all. School first. Like I took that for granted, and school first, and you gotta work hard. Like you gotta want it more than anything. Like, and you can't expect anybody to do recruiting for you. You got to go out and get it yourself. Like in junior college, like when I like after how my recruiting started, it's funny. I had a dude named Miles Thomas. His dad played in the NFL. His dad was the receiver coach at Miami. Me and him would wake up every morning and go to the library and just email school. So it's like what we would do, like over and over and over and over again. Like every day I'm emailing new schools, like, and I'm mass sending it. I keep sending them. I'm every day I'm finding new schools and I'm sending it all my tape out. And Youngstown was the first ones to actually like open it and be like, oh wow, like you can play. And then from there, that's when once I started getting offers, that's when schools started coming to see me. Then I didn't have to do the email stuff before, but like I feel like from someone outside looking in, they probably see, oh, I go to Independence, oh, he got offers, but they didn't know like the time I put in, like every morning to go down there in the library, and I'm just sitting here emailing schools, like all that happened for me. Now schools coming to talk to me. I'm getting called, I'm getting followed on Twitter, like it's all a process. You can't just like hope like it could like happen. Like, I feel like yes, you can pray on it and stuff, but like you also got to do a little like you consistently work on your craft, and you can consistently go reach out and put your name out there. And that's why I'll tell them school first, and you got to do it too. Like reach out as much as you can.
Last one for me here. And by the way, I just love how persistent you are. But final question I have for you is this. We've talked so much about the football side of things. Outside of football, when you're not training, when you're not, working out, when you're not, in the film room and all that. I mean, what are you into? What are some hobbies, some things you like to do away from the football field?
Um, Play my game. I love playing 2K. If it ain't, yeah, that's pretty much what I like to do. Like I like fishing and stuff. I don't fish often, but playing the game because I feel like playing the game is a big one for me. Is more to playing the game. I get on a party with like dudes that like every school I done been at, relationships I done built. I get to talk to them like for hours and stuff, and like even recount some of the games. Like even last night I played with my old teammates at Youngstown. We'll like talk about a game like where this happened or this happened, and we'd be like, bro, that's just relive experience and stuff, and just being able to talk. And I feel like even when I'm in the league, like being able to get on the game and like talk to people I played with, like I don't feel like nothing hobby wise can be as fun as that.
That is definitely awesome. Where can people sort of follow you on Twitter and Instagram? Go ahead, keep up with your work, follow you throughout the next couple months. And then eventually, when you do reach that next point in your career.
On my Instagram, Zeke underscore dot 119. And really my TikTok, I be posting like clips and stuff, more motivational wise on there. Probably the same Zeke underscore 119. That's where they could find everything at.
This has been awesome. I mean, keep in touch. Best of luck with the rest of the training. If there's anything that we can ever do for you here
Mhm.
at the Bear Report, you know where to find me. Don't hesitate to reach out at all.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate you.